Does, Dan, and let me tell you, folks in this community as well as this family, thankful that all of this ended peacefully. You mentioned those two kids that were actually inside at the time all of this happened. One 10 years old, one just 3 years old. And you see right out front the bikes of these young, small children. Obviously, this was a very dangerous situation. It is, Dan, and you know, all of this happens within seconds. In this video, you can actually see this gunman calmly pull out his weapon and shoot those innocent travelers. If we can, let's toss to that dramatic video. This was posted on TMZ's website. Breaking news right now. In Seminole, police are investigating after a report of a home invasion. That's exactly right, Ashley. The good thing to report this morning, that 3-year-old is okay, taken to the hospital simply as a precaution. This 3-year-old was actually in the victim's vehicle, strapped into a car seat. So investigators say that was key in saving this child's life. All of this happened around 11:30 last night. Take a look at this very active scene. Tow trucks just got here on scene to haul away all 3 of these vehicles. New video this morning. Check this out. It shows the moments after a private plane crashed at Tucson International Airport yesterday, killing 2 people on board. You can actually see smoke and flames pouring out of the plane. The accident happening right in front of shocked witnesses at the airport's passenger terminal. In fact, hundreds of guests were told to get out of their rooms. Firefighters rushed up 27 flights to knock out this fire at the top of that hotel. I want you guys to take a look behind me. You can see the hotel this morning. The lights at the top there have been turned out this morning. Typically not what you would see. If we can, let's take another look at the moments that all of this sparked. This morning, police are offering big money for any sort of help in this case. Crime Stoppers putting up $3,000 for any sort of information that can possibly lead to an arrest in this case. If you're watching out there this morning, I want you to stop what you're doing and take another look at this guy's picture. This is the sketch that investigators are releasing this morning. This is the man police believe assaulted that young woman. They believe he's in his 20s. Now, all of this happened around 2:30 Sunday morning when that young woman was walking home from work. As you can notice here, this is a pretty dark area. If you look down the street, not many lights here, and not much is in this area besides the bus depot right behind us. Now, we spoke with a young woman, a mother who actually rides the bus in this area, and she had a word of warning and a few tips for women out there in this area this morning. First and foremost, supporters will be looking to see if his words turn into action. Come Friday morning, President-elect Donald Trump will officially be in the hot seat, and Dan showed you this countdown a bit earlier. 1 day, 6 hours, 26 minutes, and look at those seconds. They continue to count on down. Be warned. The pirates are coming. Grr. Do you like that one?
You could have done better, Rodney.
A little bit better. What can I do? I'm not a pirate. What can you do? Well, they want Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn to surrender the key to the city before Saturday's historic Gasparilla invasion, and I promise they will sound better. You're right about that, Dan. In fact, the sheriff says the owners of this place had been warned before to step up security. That had not been done. The thieves simply broke in right through the front window, only taking minutes to make off with those guns. Now, the sheriff telling us the entire community's safety is at risk this morning. Police did not have to search too far to locate the man they say burned and vandalized a black church in Mississippi. That's because he's actually a member of the church. Investigators say she was rushed to a local hospital. We're told she is in pretty serious condition this morning, but believe it or not, she is expected to survive. She's actually talking to investigators at this hour, trying to give them any sort of information she can. If you look behind me, this is a very active scene here. You see the forensics team with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office on. Many people say teenagers use this drug to get high. If you look under the age of 25, you will be ID'd for that medication. Also tonight, another law will make it easier for people who need painkillers to access medication that's less likely to cause addiction. Investigators say this guy has family in the area, and they believe he may have come here to hide out as this search intensifies in the Orlando area. Stop what you're doing right now and take a look at this guy's picture. This is the man, Markeith Lloyd, that police are describing as armed and dangerous.
It's a 14-foot great white shark. It was caught off the coast of Port Canaveral.
That's the big boy. A boating company snapped these photos behind us and shared them on Facebook. The captain says the crew was fishing about well, Dia, let me tell you, it turns out the situation was a lot more dangerous than we initially thought. Turns out that this guy was inside of that mobile home with a 3-year-old. So we're just getting that information out here this morning. Colonel Chad Cornister joining us this morning. Just give us the background as far as how this all started and tell us about the children that were actually inside the mobile home. Criticizing a league football tournament that local students are actually skipping school to attend. ABC Action News reporter Carson Chambers explains. So far, about 25 groups have applied for permits. That's about 5 times higher than usual. Most of these groups promoting exactly what they're doing on social media sites like Twitter and, of course, Facebook. I don't get it, but that's just me. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us why some families who got one are already complaining about these things, so you don't waste your money. Big plans now underway this morning for one of the largest influx of visitors to the Bay Area in years, and the city still needs help accommodating the thousands of football fans headed this way. In less than 3 weeks, an estimated 100,000 people upset about this. Most folks think, of course, that the hotter the water, the cleaner the clothes, right? Believe it or not, that may not be true. For weeks now, we've showed you videos of thieves stealing packages from homeowners right from the front porches. Well, if you have a package on its way, you need to beware. That's because the Postal Service says today will be their busiest delivery day of the entire year. Right in broad daylight, in front of plenty of witnesses. Other co-workers say the shooter in this case actually showed up to work drunk and got into an argument with the victim. All of this played out right in front of this home here. The workers working right here. The shooter just got off the phone with the PIO. As you mentioned, 2 of those suspects have already been detained. A 3rd person remains on the loose this morning, but there are a number of police officers in this area trying to track that person down at this hour. Now, this all started shortly before midnight when officers got a call about an auto burglary in progress. If we can, let's take a look at the video that we shot about an hour ago. Despite a special session, North Carolina's bathroom bill still stands this morning. The governor is blaming left-wing groups for not undoing that law. The law, known as HB 2, limits gay rights, including which bathroom a person who identifies. And thankfully, deputies tell us they are doing fine this morning. All of this started early this morning inside of this mobile home when an argument sparked between the man and the woman inside around 1:30 this morning. Deputies were concerned that the 2 kids inside would be hurt. Brian Johnson is no stranger to the law. The 37-year-old, a convicted felon 6 times over. Cases spanning Florida, the most recent in Pasco County this past May for domestic violence. The victim in that case, the same woman who called deputies to the Citrus Knoll mobile home park in Thonotosassa this morning.
She advised that she'd been battered by her boyfriend.
At the time, 2 children were also inside, a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. He eventually let the older child go, but barricaded himself inside with the 3-year-old.
Very, very tense situation. 10-gauge shotgun, and he had a machete, and he would kill at least the first 2 deputies in the door.
The standoff lasting nearly 5 hours long.
It's a shock to hear anything like that going on at all, but especially right next door.
Residents like Augustus Thoreau kept away from their homes, relieved the victims are okay.
Just glad that they was able to take care of it without anybody getting hurt.
Just before 6 a.m., Johnson was taken into custody. The child safely removed.
This is why our SWAT team and our negotiators train as much as they do. So absolutely, as you're saying, best case scenario for everyone. Whenever we can get that child safely back to their mother and take him into custody. Unfortunately, he was being resistive. We had to deploy a taser. That wasn't effective. And after a brief struggle, our SWAT team members were able to finally gain control and handcuff him and take him into custody.
And right now, Brian Johnson is behind bars facing a long list of felony charges. As for that victim and those 2 kids, they're left to recover from this horrible incident. Reporting live from Thonotosassa, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. The sheriff tells us that the owner has been warned numerous times to step up security. That did not happen, and the thieves simply went right through the front of this door, right here at the store, and made off with about 40 weapons. Now the sheriff says this entire community's safety is at risk. Surveillance cameras capturing the smash and grab here at Rapture Guns and Knives in Lakeland. 2 suspects grabbing whatever they can out within minutes. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd fearful those guns will soon be on the streets used in crimes.
People that have those guns are going to put them in the face of others and rob them and shoot them.
We're told this gun store was also robbed 4 years ago. The sheriff saying warnings to beef up security ignored. Judd none too happy, now calling out the owners.
Well, Ben, here's your sign. They broke into your store last night and they took 40 guns.
Store owners responding to the criticism, saying they will do more to keep this store protected.
There's nothing like a live body with a firearm. We will be here 24/7, and somebody will be hurt if they come back.
For the sheriff, though, it all comes a bit too little, too late. And investigators are hopeful that that security footage will hopefully lead to an arrest in this case. For now, reporting live in Lakeland, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Well, Ashley and Paul, plain and simple, it can be deadly. Last New Year's, 17-year-old Amber Bartles took a stray bullet right to the leg. Now, we spoke with loved ones today, and thankfully, she's fully healed. Their message, have fun on New Year's and put down those guns. Fireworks, a New Year's Eve mainstay. However, in some neighborhoods, celebratory gunfire now a dangerous tradition.
That's one of those you never thought it could happen to you because
Shannon Garrett knows the risk all too well.
innocent people can get shot. I mean, that's just basically what happened.
Last New Year's, her loved one, 17-year-old Amber Bartles, took a stray bullet. Speaking with us right out of the hospital.
I heard a lot of gunshots just going off everywhere and fireworks.
In the yard of her South St. Pete home when that hot shot came raining down.
I felt something hit me really hard, and then I looked down and I was bleeding.
This year we're taking precautions. We're not going to be in this area.
Celebratory gunplay, a huge problem ringing in 2016 in St. Pete. A patrol car even hit by a stray in the department lot. The assistant chief with a stern warning tonight.
But guns do not belong as part of a celebration on New Year's Eve, and they definitely don't belong fired into the air randomly.
Family of Bartles hoping that message is heard. And last New Year, St. Pete police arrested 5 people for celebratory gunfire. The officers will be out in mass numbers this year, ready to make more arrests, and charges can range from a simple misdemeanor all the way up to a felony, as well as prison time. And that's why they want people in this community to be on high alert. Those we spoke with this morning simply want this guy off the streets, and they want all of this to end peacefully. Usually the talk at DK's Donuts in Haines City is all about the sweet treats and the great coffee. This morning, though, something a bit more serious on the minds of folks here.
I think it's terrible. It's terrible that anybody would shoot a policeman.
Haines City Police alerting the public accused Orlando cop killer Markeith Lloyd could be right in this area. Lloyd already wanted for the December shooting death of his pregnant ex-girlfriend.
He's going to do that. What else can he do?
Investigators tell us Lloyd has family in the area, and there's a good chance he could have come here to hide out as this search continues to heat up.
It's scary. It's very scary. Very scary. I hope it catches.
So far, 3 people face charges for helping Lloyd hide out from police. One of those people, his niece. Police speaking with her now. They believe she knows where he is, possibly right here in Polk County this morning. Those here hoping for no more bloodshed.
Yes, absolutely. No more. Nobody else gets shot.
And the reward for information that can possibly lead to an arrest in this case, up to $100,000. Investigators are hopeful that that will motivate someone to come forward with that needed information. For now, reporting live in Haines City, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Well, Dan, investigators believe this guy is in his 20s. As you can see from that sketch, the victim in this case, that young woman, was able to give a pretty good description of this guy. Now, police are hopeful that someone out there watching this morning will know exactly who he is and will turn him in. Give this sketch a good look. It's the best clue Tampa police have to go on in the vicious sexual assault of a young woman Sunday night here near East Yukon and North Central Avenue. Police say the woman was attacked around 2:30 in the morning. She was walking home from work. Women we spoke with on edge.
Very, yeah. It's going to make me keep up my guard for sure.
If you notice, not many lights in this area. This bus depot, the only sign of activity after dark.
Because that bus stop attract a lot of people, so you never know who is who.
Reggie Faison walking his wife out the door this morning, telling us he plans to make sure women in this neighborhood are safe. He'll be making sure they see this picture.
So, you know, we try to look out for each other.
This young mother we spoke with already taking a number of measures to ensure her safety.
I'd wear a hooded jacket and try to cover yourself. They won't be able to tell who you are when you're walking.
Just one step to help ease her mind until this guy is off the streets. And this morning, Crime Stoppers is offering $3,000 for any sort of information that can possibly lead to an arrest in this case. For now, reporting live in Northeast Tampa, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. We'll be speaking with investigators this morning as they try to figure out exactly what led to this fire. And this morning, many of the people who were inside that hotel at the time say they're simply thankful that everyone made it out okay. These aerial pics from Action Air 1 giving us a pretty good view this morning of the damage following the late Thursday night fire here at the Tampa Marriott Waterside. The video of the moments the fire sparked, dramatic. Onlookers pulling out phones to record.
But it looked pretty concerning there for a little while.
Hundreds of hotel guests told to get out of their rooms when flames started shooting from the top of the building. Firefighters racing up 27 flights to put it out. Investigators telling us this all started in an area where crews were doing construction.
So we heard the sirens, heard a pop, looked outside, tried to figure out why sirens are going off, and saw the Marriott on fire. So
one of the guests rushed to safety, country music star Lee Greenwood, who just sang at the presidential inauguration, in town for the night as he kicks off a new tour. He described for us the moments he found out what was happening.
When I came out of the lobby, we're going to dinner right away, and there were 30 fire trucks here from all over Tampa, and they were all very professional, all doing their job. Nobody was panicking. They knew exactly what they had to do.
Despite the intense flames, a firefighter was able to contain the fire to the top of the building. And hotel management telling us this morning that operations will be back to normal, so any folks checking in maybe later on today or possibly tomorrow will not run into any trouble. For now, reporting live in downtown Tampa, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News.